Hi, I'm Nina. Welcome to From One Mother of an Addict to Another. This podcast is dedicated space for parents navigating the challenging landscape of their child's addiction. Here, we'll share stories, insights, and the unbreakable bond that connects us on this unique journey. You're not alone in facing the struggles of your child's addiction. Join me as we foster a supportive community, exchange experiences, and provide a source of hope for parents navigating similar paths. Together, from one parent to another, let's navigate this challenging road. Hi, welcome to the podcast episode, Navigating Family Milestones. Well, let's face it, it's a time of joy and celebration, and sometimes it's kind of hard to feel like joy or that you even want to celebrate because of your estranged child. Maybe they're in jail, maybe they're in rehab. Maybe they're just estranged from the family for other reasons because they think you're the most horrible person in the world and they did nothing. It's we're crazy and they're not. So that could be something as well. Basically, at this point, you're trying to figure out how to get through this time. This time of year especially, in the spring, summer, graduations and weddings, and family trips, family reunions. There's always that elephant in the room. So I always felt that knowing that these milestones definitely affect me, since my son is getting married, I prepared myself in advance. So these are the suggestions that I'd like to make for you to prepare yourself before these milestones occur, so you're not walking in to this beautiful celebration or a graduation and not preparing your emotions, because emotions will take over. My emotions took over for the past 10 months, and I've been preparing myself for this event that's occurring. As my son, I'm going to be walking down my son, and I'm not going to see my other son at the end of the aisle. That's devastating to me. I can't believe that's what life has brought, and it's horrible. It's just horrible. So how does one deal with that? Or I spoke to a woman whose son is in jail, and he got caught with pot plants and dealing, and he's in jail. So they also are having a celebration. And so here's how I would suggest you take part in this ownership of emotions that you need to get under control before a large milestone occurs. I'm not talking about a Thanksgiving dinner. Thanksgiving dinners are great. Don't get me wrong. And it's a great time to see your family. You invite some friends, and you're really distracted. It's a gathering, but it's not a milestone. So this milestone, what I did is about 10 months ago, I specifically focused with my therapist once a week on coping with my emotions that are surrounding this wedding, this beautiful milestone that I want to be a part of for my son. And I want to be there. I want to be present. And I want it to be about him and his new wife. I don't want it to be about what I don't have. I don't want it to be about all the things that occurred and all my emotions and how sad I am that what happened and why isn't he here. So I specifically addressed this topic every single week and discussed what this looks like to me. What is it going to look like? How am I going to get through this event happy, going and having fun, thinking it's a vacation? It's a whole long weekend, or it could be one day. It doesn't matter. It's still a milestone, and it's a big one, and it's a family milestone. So first thing is understanding the pain that you're going to be experiencing. And we all know that. And even if you haven't lost your child, if your child is still present, but not in your vicinity, they're far away, they're estranged, then you're still feeling it. You don't have to lose a child to death in order to feel like you've lost your child. So that is one thing that you need to understand, the pain, and that pain is there. You are addressing it by either speaking with someone weekly or talking to your spouse about this pain, and even speaking to your child that's getting married. Bringing it up because basically they're feeling the pain as well. And they might not even be addressing it or haven't addressed it all these years, all the things that really happened. Because when weddings come, what happens? All the emotions, all the memories come together. And those memories are good and bad in every single family. Everyone. Don't believe a single person if they're saying, oh, life's fabulous. Really? Okay. That's not true. So do not go to Facebook to look at that. It's a false. What I would do is bring in the person, the relative that's getting married, into the conversation. I think it's important to address that more than ever before, at least 6 to 10 months prior. Get them involved emotionally as well, so they're in a good place when they go to this, their own affair, when what they're going to experience with their family. And that is something to really address and focus on. Now, I'm not saying to do it in an aggressive way. Listen, you're getting married, your brother or sister's not going to be there, and I want you to go to therapy. No. What you do is you slowly acknowledge, look, I don't think you've really addressed the fact all these years that, yes, your sibling is not around. And you might have another one, but you're still missing the sibling that isn't there for you, by your side, the one that you remember. So I'd like to start like just talking about it, and bringing it up, because I think it's important to do that. That is one way of doing it. Or as you get closer to the wedding, I find that most likely they will start thinking about it themselves. And as your child starts, the groom or bride starts thinking about their sibling that's not going to be there themselves, then they will start expressing it. And so I would say, which is what I had said, listen, it must be hard thinking about your brother that's not going to be there. And it might be smart, if you're not thinking about that, to start maybe thinking about how you're going to feel at your wedding, knowing that someone's missing. That's preparing. Look, they're too old to say, okay, go to therapy right now. It's not going to happen. But you can express it, and maybe you could give them some of these tips to address it and feel a little more comfortable at the wedding, and everyone, have the whole family be able to focus just on the person that's reaching this milestone and the reason why you're together. So focusing on them is a big issue at hand. Now, communicating with the rest of the family and making sure everyone's on the same page is very important. Husbands, ex-husbands, new wives, stepchildren, whoever it is, whatever it is, every family is blended at this point. So there are a lot of people on board. It's very important to address it. It's very important, at least with the father, the husband, the ex-husband. Everybody should feel and understand, which they already do, but address these feelings prior. And the only way to do that is to talk. Talk not just to a therapist, but talk amongst each other. Like, I called my ex beforehand. I spoke to him. I think it's important to do that. Expressing yourselves. You're both going to be there. You're both walking down your kid. You're both experiencing this together. And it's important to do that, so you're both feeling prepared as well. I'd say, I'd set boundaries for how you're going to react when someone comes up to you and might say, oh, it's, I'm so sorry your other son's not able to be here with you. Or, I'm so sorry, I know Josh has, a sick brother. Or I'm told, oh, do you have any other kids? So how are you going to address that? Don't wait till the day of the wedding until someone approaches you. It's happened to me before, and I was not prepared, and that was the wrong move. I did not prepare myself. In that there's certain environments, people are going to ask. They're going to think it's okay, which it is in a way. They don't know. They're not coming at you in a bad way. They're just coming at you because they feel bad. They want you to know that they understand. So they're not saying it to be mean or make you feel like, okay, you did something wrong. So don't be defensive with it. But what I'd say is, I decided today is my son's day. He's the one getting married. And tomorrow I could think again about my other son and my other child. But right now, this is about my son who's getting married and going to move on with his life. So that's how I would address it. And when you speak to, certain relatives might come over and you say, today I just don't want to discuss it, but I really appreciate you bringing it up. Thank you so much. And I know you care. Kind of like that. Now, what about strangers? What about someone that comes up to you and comes in your face and says, oh, do you have any other siblings? Are there any other siblings? Or I heard that Josh has a sibling and he's not at the wedding. Okay, well, that's going to be difficult. So what I say is, yes, he has a sibling. Unfortunately, he's estranged from the family. That's it. You don't owe anybody anything. Prepare yourself to say it. And if you have to, walk away. They're not doing it in a mean way. No matter what, they're looking at you anyway. Everybody knows what's going on, that there's someone missing. So that's the way I would handle it. Now, a lot of times people say, oh, you're not alone. You are alone. Every single person is alone in this mentally and emotionally. So no matter how much someone wants to say, you don't have to do this alone. No, what they mean is you can get help to support your emotions and your mental health, but you are alone. So you have to become strong enough. And if you can't do this on your own, then prepare yourself in advance. Get help 10 months before or a year before and start discussing it and start seeing what's going to work for you and how you're going to feel, because you don't want anything to take away from this beautiful moment. You deserve this. You're entitled to it just like anybody else. And if you let them ruin your one day of a beautiful milestone, then that's your fault. That's not the addict's fault, or a estranged kid, or the kid that's in jail, or the one that hates you and doesn't want to know anything about you or your family because you're the worst people on earth. Then that's what you have to do, is get strong. And the only way to do that is yourself. And that is getting help through therapy, or every day repeating and reminding yourself, I didn't do this. Focus on what you're doing, the planning, the fun, the beautiful thing that's going to happen. You bringing in a new child into your life. How beautiful. That's what you focus on. And it's hard, but it takes training. So it's not going to happen the day you walk down your child, down the aisle, or watch them graduate from high school or college or their MBA. It's just not. You need to prepare yourself for this in advance, which most people don't. And then when they get to that day, all they think about is, oh, what they don't have. Oh, what's missing. Don't do that. Focus on what you have. Bring yourself to understand, only you could do this, that you are alone. You're the only one that can make this happen for you. Because, a lot of times if you can be strong, everybody else around you will gather around and be strong as well. But if everyone feels that you're not in that good place, then they're going to take that same leap. And that's why I contacted and have been in touch with my ex and my son that's getting married throughout the process, just to check in and have some conversations throughout this time, so we're all not on the same page. Because we will be now, because we've all had this thought and we're preparing ourselves mentally for them not being there, and at the same time reminding ourselves to focus on the most important thing, which is the wedding. And that's the only advice anyone could give you. Now, if you need to have a coach, if you need to go see a therapist, a psychiatrist, if you need to get drugs, you need to get on Wellbutrin or something to get yourself out of bed because you feel depressed and you don't know how you're going to get through it, well, then do what you have to do. You need to know who you need to see. Do you need a cheerleader? Do you need someone that you could call and say, listen, I'm feeling like I don't know how I'm going to do this next week. And okay, maybe you just need a pep talk from someone. These are the kind of things you need to think about. Therapists are awesome. I see a therapist once a week, and I've been doing that for 2.5 years since my son has been estranged. I think it's so important, even in days and weeks when you don't think you need it. That's when you need it the most. It's important, and when they say you don't have to do this alone, it's that you could get tips and reminders of what you need to do for yourself to get through this. So that's really what anybody can tell you. That's the only advice that someone can give you. The last thing would be, I love how they say, find a support group of people that are going through what you're going through. That's easy to say, but, it's not often that you're going to find the exact people going through the exact thing at the exact time. Most likely, these are people that have had milestones already that they've experienced without their loved one there. That is what that is. So finding someone that had that experience and them being able to help you get through it. Now, organizing yourself that day, being very prepared, moving up to it, have your speech ready in advance. And guess what? Keep the emotions out of the speech. I called my son on the side yesterday and said to him, listen, I don't want to cry. This is a happy day. So I am not going to touch on anything that is too sensitive. And as I was talking to him, I even started crying, saying how much I love him, how much he means to me, but I will not be saying that day. And he gets it, and he got it, and he appreciated it, because I don't want it to be about that. And I prepared myself, and that's what you need to do. You need to prepare yourself with when they go down the aisle, when you're standing there, what it's going to be like when you're saying your speech, or when your ex is saying their speech, or your husband's speaking, or whatever it is. You need to prepare yourself, and the best way to do it is in advance, not wait till the last day. Even for graduation, or you're having a big birthday party, it's a 60th birthday party, or a 50th, or a 40th, or one of his siblings, their siblings are being graduating, or having a sweet 16, or whatever it is. There are things that are going to take place that day that are so meaningful. This is how you get away with not ruining the importance of the day for the other family member. Because think about it. Do you want to remember how miserable you were at your child's wedding? Or do you want to go and remember the feeling that you were all bonded and how good that felt? Because you're already your own family. That's just what happens. And that person will come in and out of your life, you hope, and you don't know when. But that is how I would space myself as far as timing, and start early. if you start planning for something, a party or any milestone, then you start planning in advance how you're going to feel, the things that are going to lead up to it, this party, and what you could do in advance to prepare yourself so you can really represent your family and in a manner that you are bonded. Thank you for joining me today on From One Mother of an Addict to Another. I hope this episode has brought you comfort, understanding, and a sense of connection. You're not alone in this journey. As mothers facing the challenges of addiction, we share a unique bond. Together, we can support each other through the ups and downs. If you found favor in this episode, explore more of my podcasts for stories, insights, and shared experiences from mothers who have walked in similar path. You're a strong and resilient mother. Your love for your child is unwavering. Take care, stay connected, and remember, there's a community here for you. Until next time, sending you strength and support on this shared journey.